happening, Bitcoin Chaser fans? You're back with your boy BroKaine. As we wait for everyone to get live, let's just say, wow, what happened to the markets is crazy. I'm wearing my, oh my gosh, the markets dipst shirt. And today we're going to be talking about what happened to the markets. We're going to talk about why Bitcoin price plummeted. We're going to be talking about and taking a look at the services around the crypto markets. We're going to be talking about why we should stop talking about blockchain and just start making it work. And we're going to talk about why should we be asking how low can Bitcoin go. Finally, we have a segment by Son of the Chain that we will get into as soon as we're done with the first article. So be excited for that. Right now, we're taking a look at our cryptocurrency prices. Bitcoin at $4,500. Very interesting for you guys. If you go check last week's video, you can actually see the prices that we were looking at last week and hear about our discussion about that. Very cool facts coming now as we make that comparison. XRP at 43 cents. All the currencies at a downwards trend at the moment. Tether, just forget about Tether, really. Okay, so Bitcoin down 2.41% in the last 24 hours. Massive drop in the last 2 days. XRP at 43 cents, down 2.05% in the last 24 hours. Ethereum at $133, down 3.68% in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin Cash at $232, down 3% in the last 24 hours. Last week, we were at almost 600. We're less than half. Stellar at 19 cents, down 1.48% in the last 24 hours. EOS at $3.76, down 0.20% in the last 24 hours. Litecoin at $33, down 2.54% in the last 24 hours. Cardano at 4 cents, almost 5 cents, down 3.88%. And Monero at a solid $68, down 0.60% in the last 24 hours. Markets all over the place. Let's just jump straight in to the first article. Why Bitcoin price plummeted, right? So let's delve into how a looming BCH fork triggered widespread panic that created a sell-off and lowered Bitcoin's market cap below $100 billion for the first time in more than a year. Bitcoin sell-off reports and what really happened. It was widely believed that BCH fork created a situation in which miners would abandon one chain in favor of the other one. Bitcoin miners can, in theory, switch their mining power over to a new chain. If enough miners do this, Bitcoin transactions could start accumulating in the mempool, waiting for the confirmation while the network adjusts to having less computing power on it. So as the network is adjusting to have less computing power, which usually takes around 2 weeks, transactions start accumulating in the mempool. Now, the fact that 2 weeks is what it takes in order for the difficulty to adjust correctly, it may create an economic cost to the miners left behind, which could be left mining on a chain that rewards miners slower than usual until it adjusts. Looking at Bitcoin's blockchain explorer, it is easy to see that mining power has been on a downward trend over the last 3 weeks, not entirely due to the BCH fork. At some level, there must be mining power being idled due to lower Bitcoin prices, because as prices drop, so prices carry through. As Bitcoin prices drop, so miners pull out of mining those coins, mining Bitcoin in this case, because now they can no longer profit to the same standard, so they reduce their power consumption in order to limit the loss they experience during that phase. Hash rate has dropped by 21% from its peak on August, which means the network had enough time to adjust and transaction confirmation rate should not be affected. So that isn't even an issue here. So the issue is irrational dominoes, right? It's irrationality creating a domino effect, and it's just a irrational dominoes effect. It is completely irrational to react to a Bitcoin Cash fork with a massive sell-off on Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Why don't even compete with Bitcoin Cash for mining resources? BCH had less than 10% of Bitcoin's hash rate prior to the price downtrend, and is likely to yield a fork that would immediately be so attractive to Bitcoin miners that they would decide to jump ship. So BCH wouldn't suddenly have a opportunity available to Bitcoin miners that would just make them abandon ship on mining Bitcoin. People are in Bitcoin for a reason, right? There is a certain physiological effect that is going on in people's minds. And on another side, Bitcoin is the first, it's more reliable, it's dependable, you know it's been working, it has been delegating as it is supposed to all this time, working perfectly as it should. So hodl through the clickbait. One thing is clear. If you are in Bitcoin for a fiat gain, then you are more susceptible to those smart market makers and the irrational actors who follow them than those who will hodl because they believe in Bitcoin. Choosing which camp you are in or what is the level of fiat loss you are willing to stomach is entirely up to you. Bitcoin keeps on working as advertised. I agree completely there with Steven. And now it's time to jump on to our son of a chain segment. Let's get crazy. So let's jump into that now. Today we're talking about the death of magical internet money. Magical internet money, right? Let's get into it.
The death of magical internet money. A recent sell-off in cryptocurrency markets has people wondering if this is the end for magical internet money. The good news is that it is probably not. The bad news is that too many people believe that prices would move lower, so they sold. Some did so knowing that they will probably be able to buy their coins back at a discount. Others just panicked and gave in. This happened before, but it was probably the first time in which we have a market-wide sell-off due to a fork on a coin that hasn't had too much success, Bitcoin Cash. Some worried about a possible hash war that would draw miners away from Bitcoin and affect its ability to process transactions until difficulty levels adjusted. These fears are unfounded. Bitcoin's hash rate has been steadily declining over the last few weeks and adjusting as it does. In fact, transaction rates have been slowly rising for the last 180 days and the network is handling it well. This phantom hash war that some are pointing to as the key driver of all the latest sell-off shouldn't affect other coins either, even if it were to materialize. Coins like Ether, Monero, Litecoin and others do not compete with Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash for mining resources because their algorithm is different. Despite this important fact, they were also sold off as if magical internet money was going to become extinct. Sudden price drops that are too big for many to stomach have happened before. Each time they happen, pundits and crypto skeptics are quick to declare the death of magical internet money. They have been wrong before, and there is no reason to believe that they will be right now. This is all part of the ebb and flow of cryptocurrency markets, which are more volatile than traditional markets because they are smaller. They have enough actors that wield the kind of economic power that can make them shift quickly. Bitcoin and many other altcoins keep on working as they are intended to. The real issue here is choice. Which coin should you hold? How much of your savings should you put into it? How long should you hold for? These are all questions you should find an answer to before you get into crypto. And if you are already in and haven't figured out the answers, then do so as quickly as you can. I will keep on holding mine because I believe that fiat currency is way riskier than Bitcoin and other altcoins. The death of fiat is much more likely at this point given the monstrous debt the fiat system worldwide carries. Magical internet money is the only good alternative we have if the traditional financial system collapses, which can happen at any moment now.
And that was Son of a Chain segment. Let me know in the comments what you feel about that. He basically mentioned, and I want to bring these 2 points to life. He said coins like Ether, Monero, Litecoin, and others do not compete with Bitcoin or Bitcoin Cash for mining resources because their algorithm is different. So now we're back to that senseless kind of actions that people are taking where there is activity happening on an unrelated blockchain compared to something like Ether and Monero and Litecoin. Now they're starting to freak out. They're potentially considering selling off what they hold in order to avoid losing the money, when realistically the minute you sell it off you have lost money and you don't have that whole hodl aspect, the whole hodl overview of the market, and you're not using your brain. You're being victim to market manipulators. So the real issue here is choice. Which coin should you hold? How much of your savings should you put it into? And how long should you hold for? Those are the questions you need to ask yourself every time you purchase into cryptocurrency, or as your first time. If you're going to purchase into cryptocurrency, ask yourself these questions. Am I going to be in it for a year? Am I going to be in it for 10 years? Am I going to use it as a stake, or am I going to use it as a hedge against government excess? These are questions that you have to ask yourself. Am I in it to make a profit? In which case, if it drops, you're kind of going to start off at a lower position in the market and at a loss. So these are questions you need to ask yourself, and it's often overlooked. And if you don't ask yourself these questions, if you don't make note of these questions when stuff does hit the fan, when shit hits the fan, you're in a mindless, headless chicken kind of environment where you don't know what to do. You're looking at something, you read something, and you're triggered. You go and you sell, and you're just thankful that you finally made a decision and this isn't looming over you anymore. You need to take that bird's eye view of the market. You need to consider why you're in the market, and then you need to make your decision. Don't fall victim to people who are using your instant reaction as a way to profit or benefit, right? So let's go on to the next article now. For the sake of blockchain, please stop talking about the blockchain and just make it work. So barely 1 out of 5 people claim to know what it is. Who knows if they actually do? So the ones who do, who actually knows if they really do know what's going on? Everybody's an expert in crypto. So delving into social media conversations, blockchain is mistaken for Bitcoin or some other cryptocurrency, and more often than not, it is believed to be a scam. And one thing that we've all heard, I'm sure if you're into crypto, you've heard it before. If you're kind of skeptical, you've definitely heard it before. The whole pyramid scheme. Bitcoin is a pyramid scheme. These are kind of terminologies that have been put onto Bitcoin, when realistically that is not the case, right? There's more to learn under the surface. So nobody cares how airplanes fly, or how computers work, or how cell phones give you all the world's knowledge, plus the ability to call people instantly across the world. We all use them anyway. The future of blockchain lies on how well we manage to integrate it into users' lives. And I love this theory. This is 100% correct. This is something I tell everyone. So it's so relieving to be able to read this here and talk to you guys about it now while it's relevant, right? So I'm firmly believing at the moment that the future of adoption of cryptocurrency and the future of blockchain technology isn't going to be in people understanding the potential and the future for blockchain technology right now as a whole. Maybe as a speculator or as an investor or as a potential end user, this may be something you're looking at. But realistically, what is going to spike adoption is going to be ease of use, streamlining user services that are better than what is available now, thanks to the use of blockchain technology. That's where we're going to see the difference come in. That's where we're going to see adoption start skyrocketing. Nobody cares how an airplane flies, but if you need to travel far, that's where you go in order to get to your location. So therein lies the secret to where blockchain can go in the future when trying to increase adoption. So what grandma and all of us need is a way to seamlessly benefit from using this technology, much like we do from operating systems that let us use computers or smartphones, or from navigators and websites that let us connect to the internet and the ideas, products, and services we share or market. So the gate to user adoption is still hard to open. Arguably, dApps are the best way to bring blockchain applications to the broader public. Much of the discussion about dApps is still quite technical, so the average everyday user doesn't quite grasp the concept, especially coming from a no crypto understanding background. There are already over 2,000 dApps out there. Just imagine navigating across your multiple traditional and decentralized app stores to find what you're looking for, trying to figure out which are compatible with which, and having a more populated desktop or phone screen. It's going to get confusing. The key will be an ease of use. The average user is not wondering which programming language is behind each application they use or how the applications interact with each other. For example, CardStack is building a platform for what they call the experience layer, through which users can experience the apps, local, cloud-based, and decentralized in a single place. They are providing a way to harmonize the use of multiple tokens, rewarding developers based on the use features they design. Very interesting. For us, This could be a way in which grandma understands that her grandkids' pictures are safe and private on a blockchain, shared on the cloud, and for her to keep on her tablets. While the developers that build her apps get rewarded while she uses them, it will provide a much cleaner path for people to board the metaphorical blockchain plane than convincing them that neither Bernoulli's principle is a myth nor blockchains equals a scam. I am very, 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 very strongly backing what this article has to say. I suggest you go into the description, go check it out. Everything's linked there. Go give it a read for yourself. Leave a comment behind. Let me know what you're thinking in the comments. Drop one down below if you're watching from an offline stream. You're not watching live with us today. So should we be asking how low can Bitcoin go? So it has been a while since Bitcoin and altcoin markets have been hit so hard as they are now. A similar sell-off was probably back in 2014 following the Mt. Gox debacle. Bitcoin prices stabilized, but it took them about 3 years to start climbing again with the same kind of speed that they did during 2013. It was only a matter of time until the speculators jumped in. When they did, they created a variety of market distortions that resulted in an explosion of new coins via ICOs and an injection of cheap fiat into cryptocurrency markets. This shift also gives way to the question we are seeing many asking themselves now: how low can Bitcoin go? While we're talking about that, why don't you just let me know in the comments, how low do you think Bitcoin will go? Person who is closest to how low it really goes before it bottoms out, you can come on a call with us and we can have a discussion and we can play a mini game around blockchain. Maybe we use one of the decentralized apps. If you're interested, leave a comment down below. So, shifting paradigms. Bitcoin is a victim of its success. Once prices started rising metaphorically, speculators started jumping in, mainstream investors got a whiff of the digital gold rush and started pouring money into the space. The CME and CBOE futures trading were launched right when Bitcoin prices and the prices of their other altcoins peaked. These speculators and traders don't necessarily believe in cryptocurrencies. They are market participants who know they can make a quick buck if they can subjugate an asset to the rules of the game that they are familiar with. They just prey on classical market irrationality. This is exactly why instead of reading about how Bitcoin rolled out SegWit, went through a fork, and has a brighter future ahead after fiery debates were settled, we are reading about Bitcoin prices tumbling on mainstream media markets. Mainstream media. More money ready to come in. So after readers have enough of the mainstream media frenzy and the dust settles of the latest sell-off, there will be enough money waiting to come in to scoop up what the panicked seller left behind. Reason why people are wondering how low can Bitcoin go. Speculators, traditional investors, and market makers who can turn a quick buck by calling the bottom will make millions from these historical sell-offs. 100%. I mean, the people that aren't in it for the whole rationality behind cryptocurrency, behind blockchain, behind decentralization, behind a hedge against government excess, they are using the cryptocurrency markets as a means to make a profit, right? So they rely on people who are going to panic sell. They rely on people who are going to FOMO buy, right? These speculators and traditional investors and market makers, when they can make a quick buck, in this case by calling the bottom when prices finally reverse and start going up again, will make millions. And so will anyone who kind of takes advantage of that. They will turn the opportunity they lost by sitting out on the Mt. Gox debacle into a footnote in history. But should we ask how low can Bitcoin go at all? The answer is not as straightforward at all. And it depends on the individual reasons why each person got into cryptocurrency in the first place. There are huge fiat profits to be made from the sell-off if anyone can call the bottom correctly. Others might have profited by selling their coins high and buying more of them now that they are cheaper. Nevertheless, those who are in it because they want to be hedged against the excess of traditional financial systems will ultimately be more interested in how Bitcoin and other altcoins continue developing in terms of tech, transaction throughput, and all other topics that are used to captivate the imaginations of people in the space before the mainstream guys came in asking, how low can Bitcoin go? That was a rock solid ending. That was on a cliff note. I love that. Great read. Link is down below. Go check it out. So crypto hasn't died. Just look at the services around crypto. So this isn't something we're going to go through in detail and read everything about it. I'm going to show you guys this article and you guys are going to go read up on it. It's very interesting, right? So let's talk about crypto jobs. Blockchain related jobs showed a 300% year-to-year increase as of August 2018 in the US. Notable mainstream companies like IBM, Oracle, Accenture, JP Morgan, and KPMG topped the hiring list, showing an interest from non-crypto firms in participating in the crypto market. CoinDesk reported a 25% increase on cryptocurrency-related job postings from October 2017 to October 2018, a smaller but still significant increase. So also taking a look at cryptocurrency advertising. Advertising agencies serving finance and crypto businesses do remain strong in the market currently, with a lot of businesses facing issues with approval and getting through the barriers that are currently put up in order to in order to reduce the amount of cryptocurrency ads related to ICOs to avoid the risk of exposure to further scams. So take, for example, Coinzilla, considered one of the top 6, which boasts a portfolio of over 4,000 publishers and 1,500 advertisers, with clients ranging from startups to established companies. Coinzilla alone distributes 350 million ads per month. So by no means, right, is the market so bottomed out at the moment, so hollow, so unstable that we can't afford to build our technologies on it, to build our companies on it, to build our future of streamlining end user use and utility if Coinzilla alone can distribute 350 million ads per month. 350 million. That's crazy, right? So, but what about regulation and ad bans? Yes, it is true that government regulation has slowed down the rate of appearances of ICOs, and private companies have banned cryptocurrency advertisements, which could slow down the growth of crypto. Still, every time there is a new industry, there is an adjustment period. Numerous rules and regulations still get created for the internet, yet they have not impeded its spread across the globe. As far as the ad bans, this week Google announced it is cutting back its ad ban, with other companies expected to do the same. Crypto-related jobs and advertisings reflect the strength of the crypto market and will keep growing strong with its trials and tribulations, despite critics calling wolf on its death every single time there is a bump on the road. Very, very true, right? So that is the end of the video. And I do remember, guys, you guys can go back to the beginning of the video and start watching from the beginning. We spoke about a lot of interesting stuff, including the current prices on CoinMarketCap and comparing them to last week's video, why Bitcoin price plummeted. We took a look at Son of a Chain, talking about is this really the death of magical internet money? And we took a look at, for the sake of blockchain, please stop talking about the blockchain and just make it work. And we finally just went through, should we be asking how low can Bitcoin go? Now remember, there is other sections of Bitcoin Chaser that you can visit, like the Bitcoin Basics section, which is linked below, the ICO section, and the casino section. Go check out those links at your own pace. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please hit that like button, leave a comment down below, let us know how you're feeling today, how you're feeling in the market, what your position is currently. Did you sell off? Are you considering it? Did a friend tell you to do it and now another friend told you not to do it and you kind of bridged in the middle, not knowing who to choose, right? Let us know. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next Wednesday for your live at 5 p.m. GMT +2. Bye bye everyone.